Kia ora, Helen Brahms here, coming to you live from Crossville, Tennessee. Yes, we are about halfway between Knoxville and Nashville on the 40, somewhere along there. Sorry about the hairdo, but the thing was bothering me too much. I finally found a headband that works. So, how did your challenges go today? And first of all, I have to apologize for losing connection today. Not sure what happened. We were going along fine, and then all of a sudden, bam, the internet went out. So my apologies for that. So how did you get on with start now with picking a dream that you have and turning it into a goal and taking the first step towards achieving it? How did you get on with that today? Your business one was the 3 post-it notes, putting one task per post-it note that has to be completed this week, and blocking those times into your calendar. Did you get that done? Wait till Friday, we'll tell you what to do with the notes. And then on the fun side, how did you get out about with road trip exploration, about getting out there and planning road trips and getting off the beaten path and finding out things that are not on the, taking the road less traveled? How did you get on with that? So we left, where did we leave? Oh yeah, Roswell. Sorry, I am so whacked and so knackered right now. I can't even think straight. So this is probably going to be a whole lot of jibber jabber. I can't even get that out right. I might as well just go to bed now. In fact, I probably will after this. So we left at 10 o'clock this morning Eastern time and went up to the PetSmart, got Zeffy some food. I wasn't sure what their COVID regulations were about bringing Zeffy into the store. So I left her in the RV, went inside, which probably made it a lot quicker trip because when she's with me, she's off all over the place, trying to sniff new things and all of that, and it takes me a lot longer to get through. And this time I went in and I had to race around because I had to figure out where everything was because every PetSmart is laid out differently. But got her dog food, got her some new toys, and she's picked out, and I put them all on the bed earlier, all with their tags still on them, and said pick one. And she chose the one that had, it's a rope tug one that kind of similar to the one that she finally tore up, but it has a piece of bone around it. So it's got the rope threaded through the bone, knotted and made into a loop, so you can use it as a tugging. So she can tug on one side, I can tug on the other. First thing she does is go up to it and starts gnawing on the bone, and then pulls it away so she can gnaw on it. And then she's sort of like, well, hang on, there's a rope in here. And so now she's starting gnawing on the rope, trying to get that through that so she can get the bone off. But then she goes back to gnawing the bone. So she's kind of liking that one right now. But got a stuffed toy, a couple of harder chew toys that you can actually put treats inside. They actually had those on clearance for like $2.50 each, so that wasn't too bad. But got out of there and got back, and by the time I got out there, got everything in the van, I got everything in the sparkles, put it all away and all of that so I wouldn't go flying around the place. I was just like, there's a Walmart next door. I really don't feel like dealing with Walmart right now. So we just hit the road, and I looked at the thing. It was now going to take us 30 minutes longer to go back to get onto the 127, the scenic route I was thinking of going, than if we stayed on the 75. So I thought, screw it, I'm just staying on the 75. And so we cruised along there. We got up close to exit 25 and backed up traffic. But it was backed up. I had the handheld CB. I still got to wire in my other CB radio. I just got to find a power source for it. But I had my little handheld which bounces off all the trucks that are around you. So I turned it on. Nothing. Not a thing. These guys were like silent. Normally when I've been stuck in traffic, it's been very interesting, entertaining conversations going on. And some of them have very colourful languages about the traffic and all of that. But as we were approaching the roadblock, the traffic jam that was up ahead of us, there's 2 ambulances coming from the north heading south, lights going, sirens going. And so I wasn't sure if they were heading with people from the accident up ahead down to a hospital, or if they're the same ones that went down, turned around, and then came back up the shoulder, because we then had 2 ambulances come past us on the shoulder. And so, I had my truck hug. I had a truck in front of me, a truck behind me, a truck to the side of me. And so it was a nice little truck hug. But we moved over, and then the sheriff came up on the left-hand shoulder. The ambulances came up on the right-hand shoulder, sirens going, lights going, everything. And we finally get up there and they're closed off the right lane, so I had to move into the left lane. So I put my indicator on, I start moving. These two cars come and slam right up, don't slam, but they came right up against the back end of a truck, so there was no way I could move across. I am like, seriously? And they just staring straight ahead. Like I could see them and I'm staring down at them and they're just straight ahead, like not looking sideways or anything. You could see the whites of their eyes. They were not moving them, they were looking straight ahead and they were not going to let me in. But then this nice guy behind the second car, he pulled back so I could swing in because he could see that I couldn't go anywhere, and the truck behind me had also managed to swing in behind that car. But yeah, these two guys were just sort of like, oh, she wants to move off, we'll just move up. Please, if you're in a traffic jam, allow trucks and RVs to move in. You got to allow the traffic in. It is not going to get you there any quicker or get you past the accident any quicker than if you can end up causing another accident. Please, use your common sense. Be courteous. Cheapers, it's not that hard. Because as soon as we got past the accident, I moved straight back into the right-hand lane again, and the cars and the other trucks were able to take off because everybody's doing 70. I'm tootling along at my little 63. Which is why it takes me so long to get from point A to point B, because I just tootle along at 63. And then I realized that I hadn't had breakfast at that point. I was sort of like, oh my gosh, I haven't had breakfast. And so we had a rest area coming up around exit 45. And so we took that, when got off at that exit, took Zeffy for a walk around the rest area and stuff. It was a nice little rest area. And then came back inside, made myself a protein shake in the manual shaker, not because of course I didn't have the power on to do the blender. So I just threw some protein powder in with some coconut water and some coconut milk and shook them all together, and then had that. And then had some more coconut water because it was hot and muggy and I was getting dehydrated, and when I get dehydrated I get tired and irritable. So downed some more coconut water for those electrolytes, got back behind the wheel and off we went again, and we kept going, and we didn't stop. We did take one exit that they said there was a Walmart at, and so I go the direction it said it was south. By the time we got onto 40 West, then I took an exit to go south, which is where they said the direction of the Walmart was. So I'm totaling on down there. I'm like 3.5 miles down the road, and I find this big lot, so I just pull into their big empty car park area, and like, where on earth is this Walmart? It was like another mile or two down the road, and I'm like, screw this. And so I had a look, and it said there was one at exit 326. So then I get back on the freeway. There was a rest area at 327. There was no exit 326. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I must have misread it or something. So I finally think, and then all of a sudden I'm there at the exit I need to take for the campground. So I get to the campground here, get all checked in and everything else. And I said, where's the nearest Walmart or grocery store? And so she gave me directions to the nearest. She said, which would you prefer? I said, I actually prefer the Walmart because they have the bigger parking spaces or the bigger parking area. So it's easier to park the RV at the back than it is in a regular grocery parking area. And she says, I totally understand that. And so she gave me directions to there, and it was like 4 miles away. And so I said, okay. So I got all checked in. She told me what, and then she had me on the wrong site because she had me on a site that only had 30 amps instead of 50 amps for power. And 30 amps would not work in this heat because I need both ACs going at times. And on 30 amps, I can only run one AC unit at a time because they take like 12, I think they're 12 amps, 13 amps each. But then you've got the refrigerator on top of that, plus the heat, the hot water, and if I tried to do anything else, it would just. And I have a fan that goes on in the bedroom, although they're drawing minimal, but it's sort of like that refrigerator kicks on and it takes me over. So, and I would be constantly popping the breakers. So I'm glad she realised her mistake at check-in and got me switched to another one. So we got that done. So I got here around 2:00 Central Time because I switched time zones on the way back, which will make my mum very happy because she's like, I don't like this thing of you being 8 hours. 8 hours, she says, because to get time in New Zealand, I have to subtract 8 hours and make it tomorrow. So now I just have to subtract 7 hours and make it tomorrow. My mum's happy because she just has to add 7 hours and make it yesterday. Confused? Trust me, 23 years of doing this, you get it sorted out real quick. So I got to tell her that I'm now an hour shorter, so she now only has to add 7 hours, so I'm an hour closer. She was very happy to hear that. And so we headed off to, we got all checked in, drove around the campsite, headed back out again. Horrible road coming in this place. It's narrow, there's no lanes, it's like a single lane road. You can barely get two vehicles past. I would not want to meet another RV coming the other way as I'm heading out, or as I was heading in. The turn to come into onto the street, it's really badly designed. You're kind of going over a hill. They've got the corner banked really badly, and you honestly feel at one. And like even if you take it slowly, you still feel like you're going to tip over. So I'm kind of leaning this way as we're going around the corner and trying to take it as wide as possible where I can get it onto the. So when I came back from Walmart, I tried to go as wide as possible to get in, but then this pickup truck starts coming towards us down the street, and I'm like, damn it! And he suddenly realized I was coming in, so he steps back, he stops back well back so I can swing around. But because of where he was parked, I couldn't swing as wide as I wanted to swing, so I'm still doing this leaning thing. And he just sits there and looks at his phone, doesn't bother watching me, which was good. But yes, we did the Walmart run and left Zeffie in the RV and left. There was a really nice breeze blowing. It was still warm, but I left that open for her, and I had the expeller fans both going like crazy, and that was pulling the air through and creating this air. And I left her food and water out for her, but it was still pretty warm in here when it was in the 80s when I got back here. With the groceries and stuff, and so we put the refrigerator and freezer stuff away really quick, threw everything else on the bed, hopped in the seat, and off we went to the campground. And like I said, we tried to make it a big wide turn to get into the street, but then there's potholes right there at the intersection as well, so it's screwed. And I could hear the shocks on one side pop. I was like, great. And it's a very bad road coming down and into here, and but we're in the lot, nice lot, surrounded by trees, which is kind of nice. So it'll provide some shade. And then there is a gun club not far from here, because I could hear them shooting, and they were shooting. It sounded like semi-automatics that they were shooting, because there was a lot of bullets flying, and that you could hear the sound of the rifles going. You'd hear the sound of the rifles going. And I haven't heard sound like that since I was in the Air Force when we were shooting rifles out there on the live range and stuff. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. Semi-automatic's gun. Excellent. And because it was such a continual sound as well, you knew it was more than one person firing, and that it wasn't a handgun, and it wasn't shotguns. We later heard the shotguns going as they were doing clay pigeon shooting, but there's a shooting range here not far from here, so we get to hear all of that. But it's nice. It's very quiet. Zeffie's been zonked out all afternoon. Poor thing doesn't know what to do. She wants to play, but she doesn't have the energy to do it. And but we got everything all set up pretty quickly. Came back inside, and of course, as soon as I plugged the air, and I totally forgot I didn't have the AC turned off for when I plugged the power. I'm supposed to have the AC turned off, and I didn't. And I suddenly heard the AC kick in. And I was like, okay, power's running. But got everything hooked up, got everything sorted out. The only thing I have left to do is to put away the dry goods that do not require refrigeration or freezer. There's basically the stuff I threw on the bed earlier. But I cleared the bed off because I said to Zeffie, we got to go lay down. And I said nap time, and so she just goes and runs in the bedroom and hops on the bed. Now she's napping up on her bed on the dash up there. And but yeah, it's just total wipeout. And then of course I'd only had the protein shake so far today. And the coconut water, and lots and lots and lots and lots of water. So now it's sort of like, I really don't feel like cooking anything tonight. So I don't know. I'll figure out something. I've got some turkey, some sliced turkey, which is, I don't remember who does it, but it has no nitrates in it. There's a lot of no preservative. There's a lot of no things in it. And so I picked up that, some broccoli slaw, some tomatoes, so maybe I'll do a salad or something with that. They didn't have, and then they had spinach, but the spinach wasn't due to expire for like a week, but it was starting to turn already. And I'm like, well, that's not good. But I got my fresh berries for my breakfast, so I'm happy about that. And I picked up some ice cream too. Had a hankering for some ice cream, so I got some ice cream. So. But let's see. Oh yeah, and the accident that we passed that I was telling you about, the accident with the ambulance and stuff, some car had completely flipped over. You could see the skid marks go across the road, then they abruptly stopped just before the shoulder, and you look over in the ditch and all you could see were the wheels pointing up, and the doors were open. So I'm not sure, like I said, if the two ambulances that I saw heading south were the ones that then came back up, but the paramedics were all standing around talking and hugging each other, which kind of surprised me, but they're up there hugging each other and talking and amongst themselves. There was no, it didn't look like anybody was down at the car seeing if anybody was in there, so I'm wondering if the two ambulances I saw heading south were the ones that were heading to the hospital, although looking at the timeline, they would have gone down to the next exit, turn around and come back up, so that probably was the same two ambulances. So I don't know what happened to the people in the car, why the guys were all standing around talking, because there was nobody down at the car. There was 5 police cars there that were sheriffs and highway patrol. And what else was there? That was it. There was no fire rescue or anything like that there, and there was a couple of doors that were popped open on the car that I could see, but because it was up on its roof and on the side. So I just hope everybody was okay and that nobody was seriously injured, and hopefully they were wearing their seatbelts. But yeah, so that's it. So total travel time with the stops at the PetSmart and the stops at the rest area was 5 hours exact. So I didn't think that was too bad. And I was at PetSmart about 45 to 50 minutes of that, and the rest area we were only there for like 30 minutes. Unless we need a nap, we're only stop at rest areas for like 30 minutes. Enough to take Zeffy for a walk, come back, grab something to eat, and then we just get back behind the wheel again. So yeah, it's been a good day. It's actually been a really good day of travel, except for the heat. It was hot and muggy, and I had my visor on most of the day too because it was keeping my hair off my face. But then when I was at Walmart, I found these no slip headbands, and I thought, well, let's try them, because normally in the past when I've tried headbands with my I have fine hair, but just a lot of it, they've never worked. But this one seems to be holding pretty well, so it's keeping my forehead nice and cool, so that's good. But anyway, I'm out of here. I'm going to go grab something to eat for dinner, probably going to do something quick and easy, and then I'm going to have an early night tonight. I'm meant to be on a training thing at 5 p.m. Pacific, and I just don't know if I can stay awake that long. I will try. I will definitely try, because I need to test my signal, but my Sprint seems to be doing better than my AT&T right here, because AT&T has got 2 bars, Sprint's got 4 out of 5. So I thought, that's not too bad. But if I walk to where I normally put the hotspot, so if I walk towards the front of the vehicle, it suddenly drops to 1. Go figure. I haven't fired up the AT&T one to see yet what that is, but if I sit here with the AT&T, which is what my phone is, I get 1 bar, and I get 4 on my Sprint out of 5. And if I go to where my recliner is, which is all of maybe 8 feet away, the Sprint drops down to 1, and the phone picks up to 3. Go figure. So there's a barrier in my RV, depending which side you're on, as to which signal, whether AT&T will work or whether Sprint will work. But I haven't fired up my AT&T hotspot yet, because the Sprint one seems to be working fine, and I'll just sit it here next to the computer. It won't be a problem. So anyway, that's it from me. It's been a great day of traveling here to Crossville, Tennessee. And I still have to look up the world's largest flea market. I know it's 690 miles long. I remember reading that figure, but I can't remember how many states it goes through, and it goes across US 127, the whole length for the month of, I think it's the month of August, the whole thing goes. But yeah, trying to find find campground accommodation in this area around that time of the year, not very good. But not that I would want to be here in August anyway. So yes, I'm kind of glad I didn't come up the 127, because I wouldn't have felt like stopping anyway. But I enjoyed the trip along the 70, up the 75 and then onto the 40. It was nice, and being back on the 40, it was sort of like, I don't remember all these trees. But then again, it was 10 years ago. So it's been 10 years since I've been on the I-40. Haven't been on it since. So this trip back on the I-40 towards California is going to be interesting. And but I will be doing diverts off, because I do have to go north of the I-40 in Arkansas. And I'm actually thinking up to Missouri, up to like St. Louis. I've got to see what their travel things are right now. I was thinking maybe I'll go up to St. Louis and see the Arch. Don't know. Haven't decided yet. I might head up that way, or I may stay on the 40 into Arkansas, because I was thinking go up to Missouri and then come down to Arkansas. Don't know. I have a week to decide, because I'm not leaving here till next Monday. But anyway, that's it from me. Have a super fantastic sparkling evening, and we will catch you guys tomorrow morning with your challenges of the day. Hei konera.